Welcome back to That Dad Guy. It's August 15th, 2023, and in today's video, we're going to talk some postage stamps, we're going to talk a little history, we're going to talk some postcards, and we're going to talk about the 15th of August briefly. So if you like my content, feel free to subscribe, like, leave me a positive comment, and share it with other people if you so desire. And if you put the notification bell on, you'll be given a notification whenever I release a new video. So, that being said, let's get to some of the content. First, let's talk about the 15th of August. Now, I would do a whole video on the 15th of August, and I probably will in the future. But as of today, I am not prepared to do it justice. So, let's just say the 15th of August here in Atlantic Canada, well, nationally actually, because it was recognized as a national holiday for the Acadian people in 2003, but as of 1881 at the first Acadian Congress, they decided that the 15th of August would be National Acadia Day. It is also Assumption Day in France, and so there's a tie there because the Acadian people are very closely related to the history and cultures of France. So here in Atlantic Canada, which was once called Acadia, we have the Acadian people. And so as of today, it's a celebration for them. Here in Moncton, they have been doing celebrations from the 11th to the 19th, concert series, poets, all sorts of different performers are performing here in town. And if I'd had more time, I would get down there, I would film it. I would film the things that were taking place today, especially in the city of Dieppe, which is right next door to Moncton. That is the largest Acadian city in the world. And so there's going to be tons of concerts, tons of celebrations going on today. And in the future, I hope that I can get out there and film some stuff so you guys can see all about it. So I didn't want the 15th of August to go unnoticed and unmentioned here in my videos on my channel because it's an important part of local history here. And they deserve to be celebrated. All right, now let's move along. I got some postcards that were given to me by my daughter. She came across them. There's some vintage postcards. It's a bit of history here as well. So I thought I'd go through, show you the postcards, give you some little stories about some of them too. This one, for example, is Magnetic Hill as it looked like many years ago. We're probably talking, based on the cars, you probably can see when these cars came out, what the time period. We're looking at probably in the 60s, this car. So Magnetic Hill has changed quite a bit. Magnetic Hill is our #1 attraction here in Moncton, in New Brunswick. And it is an illusion that you take your car to the bottom of the hill, you put it in neutral, and your car is pulled all the way back to the top of the hill. It's something special that goes on. But I won't reveal the magic right now, but that is what Magnetic Hill is all about. The next card I have is this one here. This is Fundy National Park, a different perspective. I've shown you this park many, many times before. This is the golf course and country club that's there. It's just a lush green place that you can go and enjoy nature. This next card is Fort Beauséjour, very close to Sackville in the community of Aulac. And this was one of the many French and English forts that were nearby. This was a French fort that we had, Fort Beauséjour. And you can still go and tour around the remnants of it. And there's cannons around. It really hasn't changed much from this picture as it does to present day, other than we have a couple of big red Adirondack chairs out there because it's a national park. And in all the national parks around the country, we have these red Adirondack chairs. This next one is Shediac Bay. So one of the local communities right on the water. Just a nice, you can see some sailboats and things. Now this is the steam locomotive 5270, which is at the entrance of Centennial Park here in Moncton. I've done some videos showing it. Now it has a structure all over top of it. You can't get in and climb on it, but when I was a child, you certainly could go in, climb all around, look in all the windows and things like that. But now it's much more protected from the elements and has a big house built over top of it. You can still see it, but you can't get past the iron gate to actually touch it. This here is the Kiwanis swimming pool. It no longer exists anymore. You can see some fancy diving going on and some interesting swimsuits and bathing caps. in the day when this photo was taken. And this was in 1962. And then the last card I have is this one here. This is the Southeastern Tourist Bureau. It no longer exists up on Lutz Mountain. If you were to go there today, you might see some rubble of this wall. There was a tower you could climb up, a wooden structure so you could look down into the city. Parts of that are still there, but the tower really isn't something you should climb on anymore. It's not safe, it hasn't been managed, but the Tourist Bureau itself is no longer there. But back in the day, it was there when I was younger. All right, so that's my little backup history of Moncton through postcards. Thank you to my daughter Dea for giving me those. The next thing I want to show you and talk about is this swap that I did. So this gentleman reached out to me from the Czech Republic, David, and asked if I would do a swap with him for some of his country stamps for some of my country stamps. So I thought that'd be a great idea. And one of the reasons I thought it was a great idea was back in the day, you can see this binder. This is from my father's collection. This is his Czechoslovakia collection. These darker colors are all Czechoslovakia, and these are the Czech Republic. So you can see when he made the switch. He had a pen pal that he used to exchange on a regular basis with him. He would send, I don't know, 100 or 1,000 stamps at a time. I can't remember how many he would send, but he'd found this gentleman and they would exchange back and forth and might have a little letter with it to talk about their family or just regular pleasantries. In 1993, actually, let's go back and talk a bit about history here. We're not going to go super detail. I'll put up some flags and show you where the Czech Republic, which is what it's called now, is in correlation with Europe. I'll show you a map there of that. You can see that it's right there next to Germany and above Austria and just right there in the Central Europe. So it was once called Bohemia. It had a whole rich, long history in that until 1918. Now, there's a whole lot of history. I'm going from 900 BC to 1918, super quick. We'll get back into a bigger history maybe another day when I go through that binder of my father's. But in 1918, it was renamed Czechoslovakia. That's when these stamps all came out, from 1918 to 1993. Some major events happened in there. The Habsburg monarchy crumbled, and so there was a change over there. We had a couple world wars, in case you forgot. And in 1948, there was a democratically elected communist government. And then they went to a one-party system from 1948 until 1989. And then there was a division of the country. So Czech Republic was created and Slovakia was created. And so from 1993 on, it has been the Czech Republic, and they are a member of NATO. They are part of the European community. You know, they've become a power unto themselves. There's 10 million people that live there now, and it's an industrial nation. They're a powerhouse when it comes to hockey. So as a Canadian and a hockey fan, they've been rivals too on the world scene for a very long time, as they produce some fabulous athletes. And in other sports as well, they dominate too. So it's kind of nice to see a little country that is producing so many great athletes and making a name for themselves. So let's get into, I'm giving you all that backstory, into the stamps that David sent. All the stamps that David sent are all Czech Republic, so they are all 1993 or newer. They cover a variety of different topics, as the postage system seems to do in every country. But some of these may stand out, like this UNESCO one stands out for me in particular. But there's some nice images. Got some Christmas stamps that are in here too. We have an Olympic stamp. This one of the rooster and the lady working in the field. Architectural ones. That almost looks like it could be an Easter one with the egg. All right, this one here too. And there's probably some individuals on this channel that know some of these personalities that are featured on the stamps. I'll try to get in close because some of them have words that you might be able to read. There's another UNESCO one. Football one with the US. Some of them look like they're part of the same set. Whether I have the full set or not, I'm not sure. I'd have to go check the Scott albums to see. Here we got some more birds. I know there's lots of people out there that want to see the bird stamps. Lots of collectors in those series. This one here is very interesting, riding the fish, especially after returning from my fishing trip. I didn't see anyone riding fishes though on my fishing trip. That looks kind of frightening with the umbilical cord hanging off the baby and the doctor wearing a clown mask. You never know what you're going to see on stamps. But it is nice to feature stamps from around the world. That is quite a nice variety. So 50 stamps is what we traded. Thank you, David, for the initial swap. Hopefully there's many more to come, and I get to talk about Czech Republic more and more and learn more and more too. Maybe you'll even send a message along with the stamps and tell me what you want to not have said, but maybe something that you want the world to know about that maybe we don't know about your country. As you tune into my channel, I'm constantly promoting Canada and the Maritimes in general down in this area where I live. But when I get stamps from other countries, I want to talk about them too. I want to promote going to the Czech Republic. I want to promote what you might see when you get there. Know the history. I've done that with Ukraine as well. I've done it with some other countries. Recently, I did it with a French Republic, Caledonia, New Caledonia. So when things come my way, if it's something that interests you and you've sent it my way, I'm going to see if I can talk about it. I'm going to do some research about it too. Czech Republic, I could do a whole lot more research, and I could put together a whole video on that, maybe several videos on it. And I might just do that when I get into showing these, because I do want to go back at one point in time. Here's 1920s is when my father's collection starts with Czech Republic, not Czech Republic, Czechoslovakia. And it only started as a country in 1918, so that's almost at the start. So that's good. Dad did a good job there. I'm not sure how many he has in the collection, but a good number I can see from that binder. So his friendship with the gentleman that he was trading back and forth to get back to that story was great. They were just kind of regular letters that he would send back and forth with this gentleman, and whenever he received an envelope, it had been taped shut. So when it left Czechoslovakia, it had been opened and people had read the mail and then continued to send it on. In 1993, when they became Czech Republic, all the letters he got no longer had been opened, and the gentleman he talked to would tell stories about either maybe his displeasure for the government that was there before, or he would say more things about his family, weddings, births of grandchildren. So they had a really good, interesting communication back and forth, and got to really know each other. And it was nice to see that when communism, I guess, fell in Czechoslovakia and Czech Republic was created, this gentleman felt more at ease to share more information. So that's why it was kind of kind of nice when David reached out to say, would you mind trading with me? I felt like I had a connection there with my father, that I was carrying on a legacy, that I was going to meet someone. I don't know if this will have the same type of impact, but the one that my father had, it certainly had an impact on his life. And so that's why I was excited to share these with you guys. All right, that's what I have for today. If you're celebrating Acadian Day, happy 15 août. If you're in France, maybe you're celebrating a holiday today as well. So happy Assumption Day for you. And for everybody else, have a magical week. What, Polo? You say like, subscribe, share, and tell all your friends.
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?
Bye.